Whitney Port reveals she had 5 miscarriages after welcoming her son as she gets candid about her fertility journey. Exclusive. The fashion designer and author opened up about her fertility journey on the SheMD podcast. Whitney Port Rosenman is opening up about her fertility journey. The fashion designer and author, 40, candidly speaks about her fertility journey in an upcoming episode of the SheMD podcast, hosted by Dr. Thais Aliabadi and Mary Alice Haney, out Tuesday, April 15th. In an exclusive sneak peek shared with People ahead of its release, Port Rosenman opens up about her journey following the birth of her son Sonny Sanford, 7, whom she shares with husband Tim Rosenman. Why first pregnancy was extremely easy. I went off my birth control and within a couple months I was pregnant. I had no issues, no complications, she shares. I didn't feel great, but it was a completely healthy pregnancy. I was 32. About a year after I had Sonny, I got pregnant again and then miscarried at around 8 weeks, and I had another miscarriage after that, she says, adding that this is when her doctor suggested she see a fertility specialist. At this point, I was 34 or 35. I've had a total of 5 miscarriages. One at 8 weeks, a few at 9 weeks, and one ended up at 11 weeks. All with heartbeats. Port Rosenman says her visit to her fertility specialist didn't reveal any complications, and her doctor suggested she do the embryo transfer herself. After a round of in vitro fertilization, she had 4 embryos, 2 boys and 2 girls, that the doctor recommended she use. The former The Hills star recalls the boy embryos having stronger grades than the 2 girls. The week before I did a transfer, I got extremely sick, throwing up so much that I ended up having to have an endoscopy, and it was just a whole situation, she recalls. I ended up not being able to do the transfer and basically had, like a mental breakdown. Port Rosenman says that she then started talking to people and thinking about the idea of using a surrogate. The With Wit podcast host and her husband met a surrogate that they loved and began the transfer process. We ended up doing 2 transfers with her, and we used the girls even though they weren't graded as high. I wanted the girls, she shares. So we put in one girl and she had a clot, a subchorionic hemorrhage. She went on bed rest, but then she miscarried, and the doctor recommended that we try again with her. He thought that it was just something random, she continues. We tried again with her, and the same thing happened, and heartbeat and everything. And then she miscarried. We obviously decided at that point we needed to take a little bit of a breather from everything. The couple ended up stepping away from the process for a year to figure out what their next steps would be. We had talked to a lot of people and we thought that maybe doing a fresh round of embryos and a new surrogate was the best option, she says. I had decided I really felt like carrying was off the table for me. We still do have those 2 embryos from that last round. That could be better because I was younger, who knows, but the other 2 didn't work, so maybe that batch was bad, she says. So, I went this summer at 39 years old and did another round with a different doctor and ended up getting one healthy embryo, a male embryo. And now we are on the search for a new surrogate. All SheMD podcast episodes go live on Tuesday mornings.